to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly, beloveds, on your own terms. That is absolutely, that's the key to everything. If you get that one phrase, then you literally don't even need to watch my show anymore. On your own terms, because many of us, beloveds, are living our lives on other people's terms, and that's why we find ourselves in these crazy situations that we're in right now. Special shout out to our Patreon family. We appreciate, love you so much. Thank you so much for being just, such a big spiritual, financial, psychological support and enabling us to continue to bring the awakening information to our people. We are diving deeper, beloveds. We are going to be diving deeper. And you see, everything that I'm talking about is just to provide you with a key that will get you out of this mental maze. Because as I told you, we're in a mental warfare right now. We're in a, where each person is fighting for their own individual mental survival. Many of the children that you have, they are also fighting. And the thing is, some have ignorant guardians, but their spiritual teams have come into play, which is why, so there's a lot happening with children. Maybe I'll do a separate show on that. But beloveds, I really wanted to come on here and reiterate, re-emphasize, say it again, because I feel like I've said this before, maybe in another way, that you came here, beloveds, to create. You came here to create your own world, to see your own powers as a creator, to sort out your karma for those who have come here previous times, which is all the chosen ones, literally, to sort out any debts, spiritual debts that you had, because maybe in your ignorance in your previous life, you did someone wrong, you stole from someone or whatever. So you're here to cancel that out. And to rise, to kind of collect the fragments of yourself, the mental fragments of yourself, so that when this, because we've reached a crossroads, beloveds, and many are now jumping, there's a ship that's on the shore that is going to lead to a whole new world, beloveds, because it's like this creative world was hijacked by some low-level creators. But because there's certain universal laws that are applicable here, because our world is created by our mind, but they have made it seem like this is the only world there is. Their matrix is the only world there is, and it's just been created like that. That's not true, beloveds. They hijacked our creative system. They hijacked our operating system, and they've been manipulating it since. They took us from living in our own realities, creating our own experiences, having our wonderful interactions with spirit, with nature, with each other. And they brought us all online into through globalization, onto this World Wide Web, so that they could now, try and turn us into a slave race, so that they can have this creative reality forever, and they can create the paradises they want using our energy. You see, they're vampires, so they can only exist if we don't. Actually, no, they can't exist if we don't. That's one thing we need to know. They can't exist if we don't. But they can only create if we're not creating. They can only create by using our energy. So what do? They enslave you, and then they use your energy. Think of slavery, beloveds. How they literally took our physical bodies, our ancestors' physical bodies, and then made them do the work for them, made them build their, most of the beautiful cities that you see, from the Italies and the Spains and the Frances and, across Babylon, were built by our people. Most of the mighty cathedrals and all these things were built by our people. Many were built by the Moors, beloveds. Some by out of trying to help the people, and some by force. So I keep telling you, whatever you see on the physical world, in this physical reality, exists first in the spiritual reality. So they captured our bodies. They colonized us. So that means that if they also spiritually colonized us, and they were spiritually using us the way they were doing physically. So what would they be using spiritually? It's our creative power. And when they use our collective creative power, they can create whatever they want. And then because they've already captured you and taken from you spiritually, it's very easy for them to get you to bow physically, because everything comes from the invisible, beloveds. But they have so many of us focused only on what we see, what we hear them tell us, what we see them show us. And you can see that the spiritual invasion is almost complete based on how our people are behaving and acting physically. And they don't do this with love. They do it with hate, with force, by putting fear. It's like the ultimate beast, beloveds. And so the only way out is in. Because they have you surrounded, but they can't penetrate unless you allow them to, by signing over. And that's why this double Mac, beloveds, it's like you're giving them the key to you, to now you're allowing them in. Before they just existed here, all the computers and everything were just around us, controlling everything, creating this, synthetic reality. But now they want you to give them access, and to continuously give them access. You see, it's not something that they can't own a creator. So they have to continuously enslave the creator. It's not like they do it once and it's done forever. They have to continuously do this. And now, just because the environment and the energies and the vibration is changing so rapidly, and so many, spiritual reinforcements are flooding in, and they'll be flooding in like crazy from 2022. All of a sudden, the enemy of our soul knows it's not enough now to control the external. They have to come inside. They have to force their way in. And because they've done so much work to control your external and make you dependent and make you a slave and make it like you can't survive without them, you have to give them the key. Many won't even have a choice. Many have even willingly given them the key. And you see, once you give them the key, you lose your creative power, because they just can't get that. But you were sent here to create. You brought yourself here to create, not to participate. And the way we defeat them is to go back to being creators, beloveds, and creating our own reality. Anyway, let's take a short break. When we come back, I'll talk about how do we go back to being true creators of our own existence. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa. Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I'm here with a very important message from a beautiful island off the coast of Kenya called Lamu. I'm in a village, beloveds. So literally, you can see it's house on top of house on top of house. This is literally like a swing bed. So this is where I've been sleeping out in the open with nothing. It's amazing, beloveds. It's really, it's so charming. And, when you come to such a place as this, you really recognize the power of narratives, and how the world has gone mad, literally, and how everything is just mental, but people don't see it. Now it's so obvious how people's mental reality is being manipulated. All of a sudden there's this crisis and there's that crisis. And it's all because we're all on this one system. We're all on this global system now. It's a real problem. But those are stories for other days. So, beloveds, the only way out is in. Your liberation will come from you doing the necessary work inside. And I know it's definitely a season, beloveds, as we get into like what Biden has been calling the darkest winter. It's definitely a season to stock up on food, stock up on water, be prepared, do all the things, look at the prepping shows for sure. And do that so that you have the necessary time. Because you see, all you need is time, beloveds, to adjust your own creative power and to start to create for yourself. And if you move into your inheritance, and your inheritance is that of a creator, meaning that you can use your mind and your spirit to order reality for your benefit, for your enjoyment. If you move into that, then already all the tools, because you create together, in collaboration with your spiritual team, which is able to see so much more now that you're not able to see just because of the way this reality is so dense mentally. Like, it's very hard for us to really see more than, it's beyond certain levels. That's why we have a spiritual team here helping us to create. But many of you need a way out. You need those tunnels to be dug. You need the ship. You need I don't even want to call it finances. You need a way out, yes. Maybe it is through finances. But the only way out, beloveds, is in. Because it's only your spiritual team and your higher mind, you as a creator, that can look at your story from a higher perspective and start to, help you to get out of the maze, because we are in the mental war for our soul, beloveds. And only the fittest of the fittest of the fittest shall survive. And so many have already fallen. So if you're still standing strong and standing firm, then really give yourself a tap on the back. Like, congratulations, beloveds. That's huge. So how do you start to do that? You need to start, first of all, start to disconnect from reality, from this matrix reality as much as possible. Go into nature and start to learn yourself. Start to know, who am I? Why am I here? Go into your charts, your astrological charts, your numerological charts. Go into history. Start to create, because this is how you start to knit together your own reality and start to pull your energy out. You see, because you've knitted yourself into Babylon's world. And so you can't unknit, you can't disentangle yourself and have nothing. So the way you disentangle, remove yourself from this, is start to create something for yourself. So start looking for solutions, for ways out, beloveds. And that all comes from informing yourself, getting out of the news cycle, the Babylon system. I've already told you what the 7 pillars of Babylon are, avoiding them and starting to create your own pillars. So one of the most powerful pillars of Babylon is religion. Create your own spiritual understanding by doing the necessary research. And as you start to do this, your own education, one of the major pillars as well is education, is media. Start to create your own narrative, because the narrative is everything. Conquer the education pillar by starting to teach yourself, especially at such a time as this. Get the necessary books. A lot of them are free online. Get the necessary, documentaries, download them, even for future generations, but watch them yourself, especially in this dark winter when you have nothing but time. It's a blessing that you have all this time, beloveds. So that's where I would start with moving into being a creator. Because you see, those 7 pillars that Babylon created for their world, they were all inside you. They were the pillars that you used to stand up and to create your own reality, your concept of the creator and creation. There was a way. We had a barter system. It wasn't and then they created this paper money situation. But that's never how we exchanged energy, spirit, And now with this paper, this fake thing that they've created, they can get anything from you. They can get your body from you. They can get your energy from you. They can get your ideas from you. as long as they say they're giving you this paper and then you can use that paper to survive in their world. And I'm not saying money is not important right now, but how do you overcome the money system? Because a lot of the emails I'm getting about the double Big Mac is people saying that now their employers are demanding it. You know, the mandates from their employers are making it that they have to bow. But do you really have to bow? You've had a year and a half to create an alternative situation for you, to downsize your life, etc., etc. And so the way you get out of the Babylon system is you take back these pillars that they took and externalized, and you start to put them, to set them up in your own life. Your pillar for health. Your food should be your medicine, beloveds. Your meditation should be your mental healing. So take that power back. So as you take your power back, all of a sudden your creative powers will start to kick in and you'll start to see a way out for yourself. I really do wish you all the best, beloveds, the highest. Sending you the highest vibes and the highest love as we continue on this mental marathon. Tuko pamoja.